this a little bit higher. Hello. Hi, ladies. I am so excited to be here today with you. I'm gonna wait. Let me know if you can hear me and see me. Let's see. Oh, there you go. Okay. Hi, 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 hi. I am so excited to be here with you because I have so much to say. When I was at the gym, I was like, oh my God, I have to talk about this. Like the minute I shifted this, the minute I noticed that I was doing, I was like, oh my God, that's why my dreams are not coming true. That's why I'm not manifesting. That's why this isn't happening for me. This, you have to ask yourself if this resonates with you or not. Maybe your desires are not showing up because you are blaming someone for that thing you desire. What does that mean? Like maybe you are asking or asking someone to take care of your desire. You're almost putting them up on a pedestal, like saying, oh, if this happens, then I'll get the desire. If he buys it for me, then I'll get the desire. Like putting your eggs all in one basket is not a way a healthy, conscious woman manifests. Like, what? No. So when I was at the gym, I remember this time where I noticed I wasn't asking, I was just like putting out what I desired out there, like telling my boyfriend unconsciously, hey, look at this thing that I really want. And that made me put him in a pedestal. That made me leak my power and not show my like not give me the creative ideas that would open doors for me to show myself to show me and see me as capable. So that minute when I noticed that I was doing this, I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I getting upset if he's not offering to buy me this thing? Like I can get it. I'm an independent woman. You know, I noticed today that I also in my past lives and earlier in my life, I've been known as the lone wolf, that the one that could do it all. This is very common on hyper independent women, but it is not serving us. You are more powerful when you are in a partnership that is going to support you. I'm not saying have this or the other. However, in the future, when you feel ready, you want to have a partner, hyper independence is not letting you. Hyper independence, that thought, that belief system of you being able to do it all, it has served you. However, it is not working out anymore for you. You're not letting the guy take care of you. You're saying things like, "Oh my god, I'm going to do it all," and then you're not letting him help you. That has, like, I'm giving you perspective on how the way that I was, how being the lone wolf, yes, served me until a certain point. And then I noticed that I was putting my eggs in one basket and not taking ownership, not taking responsibility, accountability for my desires. That led me to forget the power that I have, that I was able to build a beautiful business. That led me, like, the walls of creativity opened for me. I know that my story is different from people, and that's why I always say you have to ask yourself what it is that you want. You want freedom? take it into consideration on the things that you're doing today, because they will replicate 10 years from now if you're not taking action. Like, everything that you're doing today is going to have some kind of result 10 years from now. So you have to set yourself up for success. I always known that if I choose a career that is not going to fulfill me, I don't want to retire. I see myself as a woman that is so that's going to make so much money in so many ways that retirement is not necessarily like the life that I live is a vacation almost. I don't see myself that work is work. So I'm sharing this because you have to ask yourself, what do you value the most, and what is it is that you want to make it happen. And if the desire is not showing up, maybe it's because you're leaking your power. Maybe you're giving your power. What does leaking power mean? Is putting up in a pedestal people that are not, that shouldn't. You should be putting yourself in a pedestal. However, be conscious, because that will clap back at you if you don't have the right balance. I'm super excited to be here today, um, because I needed to tell you this over the weekend. However, I didn't have the time because I was busy, and it has been going on in the back of my mind this entire time. And 2 days is a lot, because as days go by, I get new ideas. I get new insights of things that are going on that, oh my God, that it should be talked about. Like, I've been seeing a lot the sisterhood wound. I've been seeing a lot how in women, we don't have each other's backs. So we don't have each other's backs. And that makes me very confused. And especially in family, especially with friends, if y that never really resonated with me when women talk behind their backs and they're called best friends. That never really resonated with me when a woman was super like friendly with another woman, and then she would talk behind her back. Anyway, this is what is happening, and it is because women are known to connect through communication. Okay? This, I don't say this, evolution says this. So if you are talking, if you are trying to connect with the other person, and you notice yourself not saying nice things about other people, maybe ask yourself what your intention is. Their sisterhood wound has to do with competition. We shouldn't be competing against each other. We should be supporting. That's why we are insecure, because every time we look at another woman, it's unconsciously we are comparing ourselves, what we don't have, what we're missing, what it is that I need to do to be more like her, or maybe you're throwing shade. It depends. We are not competition. We should be looking out at things that or surround ourselves by people that inspire us. And if you don't have that, it's okay, because we have the opportunity to connect with people that we admire. The internet is a great tool. Um, yeah. If you're not talking about growth, if you're not talking about education, if you're not talking about, I don't know, stories, ask yourself why are you really communicating what you're communicating if it's gossip? it brings no value into your life, and it's draining your energy, and it's draining the other person's energy as well. So, back to the subject of, if you're not getting your desires and they're not coming into reality, maybe it is that you haven't taken responsibility, you haven't taken accountability for what you really want, or maybe you don't even know what you want because you're confused. You're doing one thing and then doing the opposite. You're saying one thing and then doing the opposite. You have to act accordingly, according to your desire. Anyway, I had um this time where I was putting my boyfriend up in a pedestal and waiting for him to make my desire come true. I'm like, what? I've never been that woman. However, when the first time I got into a conscious relationship, that was the type of woman that I was. I needed to rewire myself, rewire my brain, notice my patterns, because it is not easy. We are so focused on our programming, we're so focused on being the persons who we are today, that we don't notice what our patterns are, unless you get a comment that triggers you, unless you see somebody and then you're like, oh, I resonate with this. You know why people are waking up so much easier than ever before? It is because of the internet. Because we are questioning things that have never been questioned before. You can have a question on every area in your life and say, why not me? For example, if you want to be a millionaire, billionaire, that can happen for you. But you have to research, do your research, focus on one thing, work on it. It's not gonna happen overnight. So the first thing is, maybe you're waiting to be chosen. You're hoping your desires will naturally manifest, when there has to be an inspired action. There has to be a taken aligned action in order to happen. Please, if you resonate with this, let me know. Comment down below. Tell me something. Maybe you're playing small because you're too afraid to get out of your comfort zone. I've heard that and done that. But I caught myself in the middle and then get out of my comfort zone in order to grow. Because if you're not constantly doing things that make you afraid, it's not going to happen for you. I remember the time when I first started doing videos. I would be so awkward. If you see my before videos, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I've taken them down, but they're so awkward. But you are born into this world not knowing. You get to learn whatever it is that you want. So if you want to have want to have freedom in your life, get a remote job. If you want freedom, I mean, it depends, right? Because my type of freedom is being able to work anywhere in the world. um my values is also having a job that's going to fulfill the hell out of me, like sharing what I know to be true, and not never retire. I'll never feel like I am working. People with unsuccess, like people that work and are unhappy, it's because they do not like what they do. You have to find that thing that makes you, like, time goes by and you don't even notice it. You know who you should ask? Maybe your parents. They know you better than you know yourself. Of course, if you are 18, until 18, if you're past that, you've lived through some things. I don't know, my experience. I'm only talking about my experience. So, Do that thing that's going to fulfill you, because you will feel like your job, it's not a job. You'll be making and getting so many opportunities because it's like it's you're attracting that energy. You do it with so much fulfillment. You do it with so much love. That love only attracts more love, only attracts more opportunity, only attracts more fulfillment. So, do you see how that compounds everything? Do you see how, if you're doing a shitty job, if you're having and you're focusing on things that are not, that are draining your energies, you're not going to get there. So, let's go backwards. Maybe you are a woman that just finished high school or just finished your college. And I mean, I have the people that watch me are women from all ages. If you can tell me what your age is, I could better help you. However, let's say, let's put the example that you just graduated college. Do something that's going to fulfill you. What do I mean by that? Ask yourself what it is that you want in your future. Don't ask like, oh, tomorrow I'm gonna go to the party because that's what I want to do. Yeah, whatever. That doesn't matter. I'm asking, ask yourself, how do you see yourself in 20 years? With a family, with a job that gives me opportunity. You don't have to know it all. You just have to have like the, how do you call this? Like the title of your life. Family, job, a fulfilling job that's gonna make me feel like it's not a job. That type of thing. And then that will compound into doing, oh my God. So you'll be getting so much abundance. You'll be so fulfilled. I felt called to share this because sometimes we're wasting time in doing things that don't really fulfill us, and we don't realize how much time we're spending working. I mean, if you're good at your job, you don't really um like, everything goes back into doing your job, and you get little snippets of inspiration in every like something, a comment, somebody says a comment that might inspire you, and you turn up and do an art. Maybe if you're an artist, you do a beautiful painting. Maybe you do a YouTube video. Maybe, there's so much in this world that you can do, that doing something that is not making you so much happiness and bringing you fulfillment, bringing you like this deep message of like, wow, this is why I'm here. Yeah, like, what are you doing? I'm not saying just go step by step, because I never knew that I would end up doing YouTube videos. That's a lie. I always knew. However, I was very awkward at first, and I didn't see myself like not being awkward in front of the camera. But just like I said in the beginning of this year, I think like my biggest fear would be to talk in front of like a big audience, like in person. Completely different energy, completely different. So you'll see me doing that soon. When you put yourself in uncomfortable situations, when you put yourself, when you say you have fear and then you overcome that fear, that feeling feels so good. Like that feeling of overcoming your fear, it's bringing your confidence up, it's bringing your security up. Why? Because you're not that person that stays stuck. You're not that person that is playing small. Yeah. There was another thing that I wanted to share, that I wanted to talk about. it was the sisterhood wound, that how we don't have each other's backs as women, that we're focusing on like the silly things, we're not really having the vision of like what did like the consequence of the actions that you're doing today, the know-how of what you're doing will affect your freaking life. Whatever person you're showing up as today with your friends will take an effect. Women that are so competitive is bringing your energy down, is bringing your frequency down, and then you're attracting more lack and scarcity. Not having each other's backs is um it's just lowering your vibration, honestly. That's all I can say. And if you're attracting people that are like that, it is because you are doing something to attract those people. Maybe you're having the same vibration as them. Okay. What it is that I wanted also to tell you. Oh, yes. Taking the dream for granted. So many of us secretly hope that our dream will just arrive, but we haven't even claimed it as ours. That we're saying, like, oh yeah, if the right guy will find me. I'm like, what? You don't even know what you want. Like, the right guy will find me, and you don't even know what you're looking for. What do I mean by that? You don't even know what your values are. You don't even know what your values are. Like, what are your boundaries? You're accepting anybody into your life right now. What makes you think that you're going to attract that right guy? Like, saying yes to everything, it is not good. Yes, at a certain point. However, it's like you're too available for everything. What do you stand for? If you don't have boundaries, who's going to have them for you? So many of us feel so disconnected from this because we assume that that dream is happening for us. I don't say that this is bad. There has to be a balance. I always say that there has to be a balance on everything that I say, because we have to believe, in that higher power is working for us in our favor, but there has to be some aligned action in the 3D world so we can bridge um, that bridge between the unseen, between the untangible, between the 5D and the 3D world. To make that reality happen, we have to squish the time, we have to squish the actions into one. We have to act from that person that already has that thing. Does that make sense? It makes sense for me. Desire needs declaration. It is you must you must stop outsourcing your worth. That's a fact. You have to stop leaking your power. You have to stop putting people on a pedestal, not even yourself. You don't even have to put yourself as a pedestal. You have to be connected to the 5D world. What is that 5D world? The unknown, the higher power, God, whatever it is that you believe in. I was born in a Catholic church. However, I am spiritual. I believe in a higher power bigger than us. We have to and need to have that faith in order for we have to believe that there's something else working for us. to be connected to source. So the universe is going to mirror what you own, what you believe is true for you. So if you're not getting your desire, maybe you're doing one of the things that I mentioned before. You're leaking your power, you're putting somebody else as source in the 3D world. You don't know. You're putting your eggs in the 3D world, forgetting that source energy is more than 95% or 99% if I'm not mistaken. If 99% if 99% is energy and we are just focusing on that 1%, you're doing things wrong. Okay? So before I continue, I want to touch in that, because why is it so hard for us to make things happen? Why is it so hard, right? Because once you master this, what I'm about to tell you, you're not going to have issues, I guess. So we're in the 3D world. We're humans, and in our brain, there's a part that is called the limbic system. This limbic system holds our emotional memory. It's our emotional brain, right? And everything that we do, our actions, and the emotion part of that brain is connected. Our senses amplify that, and almost that limbic part of our brain is pulling us back to every emotion that we first learned. So if you learned that love is not safe, if you learned that you cannot live in abundance, if you learned that scarcity, that's what you got as a child, you're repeating those emotions held in your limbic system. Things are, your desires are not coming up for you. They're not happening for you because your past, your memory, your emotional system, that's how we work humans, our emotions are controlling us. And once, yeah, people here saying like, "Oh, you're too emotional." You're never too emotional, because women, we have the power to control our emotions if we learn how to, and we have the ability to do so. So, we have to go back to that memory, hold it, experience it, and then we're clearing up energy for that emotion to not hold us back anymore. So the universe stops mirroring the emotions that are holding you back. You your programming, I talk a lot about programming, but it is what is conditioning us to not get the things that we want. I'm so passionate about this subject. So, when you choose to learn how to do this, and I teach this in the art of becoming, please take that course, because it's going to open your mind, your eyes to things that you wouldn't, you're like, "What? I've been doing this wrong." So, when you notice that your emotions are holding you back, people may roll their eyes saying, "Oh, your emotions. Here it goes." Right? But it's true. You want to make something else happen for you, you need to rewire your brain. You need to hold space for more abundance, hold space for programming. Maybe how old are you? I'm 29. Change what I've lived my entire 29 years, because I've been living the same way for the past 29 years. I mean, I'd say now that I've been working on this the past 5 years or a little bit more. And then I started rewind. I started when I was 25. I'm gonna turn 30 in a couple of months. So the sooner you start, the easier it'll become. It'll transform you in ways that you wouldn't even imagine. You'll be like, what? I let me tell you a little story that happened when I was started dating. When I wasn't rotating. I mean, by then I was already in a relationship with my boyfriend. However, I didn't want to call it a relationship because I wasn't married. I live now with him. But I want to tell you this. So, remember I told you I started this type of work 5 years ago? Yeah. I just because I know how to do it doesn't mean that I'm a pro. I mean, doesn't mean that I go unconscious at a certain point. There's something, we're humans and we get triggered in every situation we have with certain people, with certain things that are still in our body, because that is what we are meant to do in this world as humans: grow, evolve, learn from our mistakes, figure out what we're doing wrong, or what we're meant to evolve from. Anyways, when I first, I think I was visiting him, this time I was living in Peru because my grandma wasn't good, and I was visiting him and I saw a I'm a little ashamed to share this. All right, I'm gonna share it, whatever. Um I saw a conversation he was having with a girl, and every time I've been betrayed before, so every time I saw a conversation with a girl, I would be like so upset. And it was because I was repeating this pattern of being betrayed with the guy that I'm with. I've done that with in my past relationship and in this relationship. However, I needed to learn how to. Why? Because the guy that I'm with, he's conscious. He is a provider, a protector, and he has a big business. For girls, I needed to talk. I mean, I was going to do a video on just this subject because this changed me in ways that I don't know, whatever. I'm just gonna tell you. So he was like, I have so much stress from you. No, not from you. I have so much stress on my work. You bringing more stress for things that I've never done before doesn't really go with me. I can't have this in my life. He was so straight up about it. He didn't want that. I mean, who does? If you're in an unconscious relationship, they'll tell you. I'm sorry, they won't tell you. They'll be caught up in that fight. And I mean, unless you evolve from it, whatever, that's a different story. But I learned so much from this comment he made, because I was like, oh, he's not doing anything wrong. He has girlfriends. I mean, friends that are girls. If and if I wanted to be in a relationship with a conscious protector provider guy, I needed to control my emotions and stop reflecting things that in my past that were holding me back. So I had to become this new woman. This transformed me first of all, the way that he said it was so calm, was so loving. It triggered me because I didn't want to. I mean, I've never been in a relationship with a conscious protector and provider man, with a guy with a big business that had a lot of stress from work, didn't want to have that type of stress in his life. That taught me that I needed to change. I needed to rewire what I was putting in my now relationship. It might not be the same for you, but let me tell you that if there is some scarcity in some areas in your life, it is because you haven't freed up space from your past. Everything reflects back to childhood. And I'm not saying blame mommy or daddy. I will never say that. Because what? You're a grown adult. You need to take care of you, otherwise, nobody else will. However, I couldn't. Let me tell you something else about this story. I couldn't tell my friends because my friends were the type of women that would have my back. And then I don't want to say that they're unconscious, but they don't have the consciousness to tell me that I was wrong, or at least they didn't back then. Now it's different. Okay. If there are any questions, please let me know. Hi, babe. I'm doing a live. Say hi.
¿Se acabó el café?
What do you mean?
¿Que si hay más café o no?
Sí, sí hay.
Ok.
I love you. Sí hay en la gaveta de atrás.
Ok.
Love you. Well, anyway, I think that is all that I needed to say today. I hope it brought some light into you. I hope that you take some action onto your desires. Maybe take action or maybe trust. It depends on what type of woman you are. But if you're feeling called to know more, to figure out how to manage your emotions, how to be free from your brain, because the brain holds it all, the knowledge, please, please, please take the course of the art of becoming. It has transformed me in ways. I keep on saying the same thing, but as I teach, what I'm teaching is I'm embodying way more than I've thought possible. I thought when I was teaching it, I thought I had embodied it all. Like I thought that I was, a teacher, but the effect, the response, my patterns, they keep on showing up, and yeah, I don't know. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, for being here with me. If you have any questions, you already know. Leave a comment, subscribe, like. I love you so much, and I hope to see you in the next one, okay? If you feel called, you already know where to get the Art of Becoming. It's on this description box. I love you so much. Bye.